Who decided that Dallas and Fort Worth should be right next to each other? The ninth and 11th largest cities in the United States, with over a million people each, are less than 30 miles apart. Their combined metro area of 8.5 million people is the fourth largest in the United States and the 10th largest in the hemisphere. And yet it's comprised of two distinct cities with their own downtowns, their own suburbs, and their own urban identities. Forget Minnesota's Twin Cities, these Twin Cities have more than double the combined population. But why are there two cities here at all? Isn't it weird that there's not just one mega city at the center? Well, welcome to Why There, the show where I explain why your favorite places are in your favorite places. This episode, DFW. You'll sometimes hear people say that Dallas is the last eastern city and Fort Worth is the first western city. And it really does feel that way because this part of Texas sits at a major transition zone. To the east are the wet, forested lowlands with an economy tied to cotton and river transport. And to the west, the dry Great Plains historically tied to ranching. And the two cities grew specifically to service those two different regions. Dallas was founded on the banks of the Trinity River back in 1841 because it sat at a key point where wagons could ford a shallow section of the river. Because it sat at this choke point, Dallas naturally became a regional market town, a convenient place for cotton growers across North and East Texas to ship their produce to greater markets. And when railroads started to get built in the late 1800s, this status as a logistics hub positioned Dallas to become a regional rail hub as well, pulling in banks, insurance firms, and everything else associated with a major trade-based city. While all this was happening though, early settlers were having a hard time colonizing the plains to the west, and in 1849, the military established Fort Worth, one of the last forts built in the American conquest of the plains. Fort Worth sat at the natural endpoint of long cattle trails, a convenient protected place for stockyards, meatpacking, and rail connections to Dallas. The stockyards were huge and are still around in downtown Fort Worth today. By 1900, Fort Worth had 30,000 people and Dallas had about 40,000. And the cities would never be far apart in population again. So from the start, Dallas and Fort Worth were never really competing. Fort Worth connected Texas to the west and Dallas connected it to the east. But geography plays another subtle role here because in this part of Texas, there's no dominant natural feature dictating that a city has to spring up in a specific spot. There's no natural harbor, navigable river, or super important choke point. North Texas is flat and open, which made it easy for railroads and later highways to spread out rather than converge on a single point. And when cars arrived after World War II, the region sprawled more than ever. Suburbs filled the space between Dallas and Fort Worth before one city could ever absorb the other. Nowadays, the region basically acts as one enormous city with two downtowns. Even the airport for the region is just called DFW and is right between the two cities. Dallas and Fort Worth are easily the two most tightly woven cities of their size in the country. Dallas looking east and Fort Worth looking west. Texans, let me know what I missed in the comments down below, and everybody else, let me know where you think we should go next. Thank you so much for watching. Follow for more.